call the meeting to order at 5:30. And could we have a roll call?
Chair Nichols, Vice Chair Linares,
Here.
Trustee Markle,
Present.
and Trustee Spanzel.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Great. So we're at number 3, which is public comment. The public is invited at this time to provide comment on any topic that relates to a matter over which we have supervision, control jurisdiction, or advisory power, including any such matter that is not specifically on the agenda or as an action item. But there is no one present, so I believe we have no public comment tonight. Okay. So number 4, for possible action, we have the approval of the minutes. Did everybody have a chance to look at the minutes? Any thoughts, amendments?
I move to approve the minutes as written.
I second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? There's no one. Okay, so the motion is passed to approve the minutes as written. All right. Item number 5, possible action, Library Board of Trustees business. And we are discussing various sections in the library policy. Let's see here. The first action, or the first section, everyone's had a chance to look at it, is the Library Bill of Rights. Has everybody had a chance to look through that, and comments, questions? What are we thinking about that? Thought we'd just go through each section since they were nicely subtitled.
If I may just insert real quickly, the Library Bill of Rights is from the ALA website, so it's not anything that we would be at liberty to change the verbiage of.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I did have a question underneath the Library Bill of Rights.
Okay.
Under I guess it's under personnel. So maybe I'm jumping ahead.
Okay, on personnel.
So I noticed that it, on number 2, and sort of as it kept going down, the personnel ordinance was changed to Human Resources Department.
Correct.
And as I read through more, I understood that the Carson City Human Resources Department was already named in this document. So I was just curious if you could explain to me why you think that's the best change.
Because I checked with Human Resources and they didn't know what was meant by the personnel ordinance.
Great. I didn't either. So that's thank you for that.
I hadn't heard of that before, so I followed up with them and they said, you should. I said, so just Human Resources Department, and they said yes.
Great. Thank you for that.
All right. Any other sections? Commentary? I noticed in the government section that we're changing to reviewing policies no less than every 3 years. Is that anything that we need to discuss? It's just, that sounds fine, but I'm just kind of practical application. That means, to clarify, that means that within every 3-year period, all of these policies will be reviewed, if not before.
Correct, right.
Okay.
So the minimum is if we haven't discussed them within a 3-year period, that at that 3rd year, start of the 3rd fiscal year, we would review them. And I wrote it that way to give us the latitude to discuss them beforehand in the event that we need to.
Okay. Any other thoughts on that section?
I saw that too, and it seemed prudent, given that just now that I've been on the board for a year, understanding how long things take to do them well. Thinking about that made me think that number 4 changed to no less than every 3 years means that you're still being, on top of it, but annually seems challenging. How long has that been the case?
I have no idea how old this is, but I'm guessing this is probably 15 to 20 years old, given some of the language that was in here further down. But I would say at least, what year are we in? Right? It's no less than 15 years, I'm thinking. Yeah. 14, yep, 15. I would say 2011 was the last draft. But we went over that. This was reviewed by the board in 2021 with none of the corrections that you're saying that I've made. So I think it was a little bit, I'm not quite sure. I don't remember clearly why we kind of just breezed through it in 21. That was my predecessor, Dr. Colgrove, but I was here as the deputy. I changed it to every 3 years because typically best practice is every 3 to 5 years. We're at the 5-year mark right now since the last time that we reviewed it, but I do feel like 3 years seems more prudent, but also annually seems sort of, it could be a waste of time if we've not made any changes.
Yeah, seems to me that might be something that at the end of the year, we would reevaluate with what, if any, take a look at or something, see what's happened, review. But let's not worry about that. We don't need that in here.
Yeah, I would actually, if I made any changes, I would come to you all and advise you in that moment, as
Okay.
close to in that moment, like I propose this change due to this reason. And so that we could immediately make the change, which is why but then the 3-year clock would start over. So we're
Okay.
not continuing
I
to
see.
have to look at it when we've already just looked at it,
Okay,
if it falls that way. So
Okay.
let's say, for example, 3 years from now, 1 to 2 months before that 3-year mark, we're discussing it because of a change I had to make. Then we wouldn't need to review it again in 2 months.
And when you say it, you mean the specific provision that you're
No,
changing?
the entire policy. Because we would have already reviewed the entire policy as part of my raising the issue.
So when you say the policy, it's this whole thing that we're taking a look at. We'll have to be just
Correct.
mindful of that as we go on. I could see that we could spot, a single thing and not look at a whole bunch of stuff because we just didn't catch it. Yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Any other sections on maybe use of library or any? I had some notes on that, but anybody else have notes on that?
I have a question on use of the library, number 2, persons with valid library cards from any Nevada Library Cooperative member library.
Mhm.
So this means you wouldn't give library cards to Washoe County Library people?
If they were residents of Carson City, were employed in Carson City, conducted business in Carson City, or attended educational institutions in Carson City, or they were persons volunteering. That's pretty wide open. So
Yeah.
if they're a state employee that's in Washoe County, that lives in Washoe County, we would give them a card because they work here.
I mean, I've got a Washoe Library card
Mhm.
because they let Nevada residents get Washoe Library cards.
I don't know if that's true anymore, and the access is limited.
Well,
Like you can't access their Libby, for
Yeah.
example.
my
I-
friend got hers last week.
Okay, I'm not
Just-
sure because I
just
tried to
to
get a card there and they told me no. Because I don't live there.
Well,
So,
that's just because it's you, Joy. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm kind of surprised. It seems to me that anybody living in the state of Nevada should be able to get a library card.
well, the reason for that is because why we restrict it to some extent is because we have in comparison to those larger libraries, we have a very small collection. So if our users here in Carson City, and we're funded by Carson City taxpayers or people who contribute to our tax base, so if we're funded by taxpayers who contribute to our tax base, but we're allowing users who don't contribute to our tax base, that can potentially become a fiscal problem with our community at large because of the way that we're funded.
Yeah, I can see your perspective.
Question with the number 4 under the use of the library.
Okay.
I see that there was like a little, seemed like asterisk after qualified in the original text, like a little,
Oh, yeah, that's, and where
like there was a footnote of some kind
I
perhaps?
changed, temporary used to be lowercase and I changed it to uppercase.
Oh, I'm sorry. I now
That's
see that
okay.
I was reading that as a glyph when it was not. Excuse me.
Redlining's
Yeah. So temporary residents and visitors may obtain library privileges versus previously it was qualified. So we're
Right.
just being more specific about that.
Well, we're being less specific because what does qualified mean? No.
Sure. Yeah.
So if they're a temporary resident, for example, if they're here working, or if they're a legislator, for example, then they can get a library card on a restricted basis, which would typically be an internet-only card.
Okay.
So that gives them some access to our electronic resources and databases, but they can't check out items.
Hence to what you said previously about the collection.
Right.
Okay. So there was no previous illumination as to what qualified meant.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's interesting within the co-op, particularly this has been a point of conversation. And some libraries here in Northern Nevada do have probably Southern Nevada too, they do have a very clear definition of that because of being or having access to military bases. So Fallon has temporary residents. That's a big, a frequent occurrence for them because of the naval air base, or I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
So that's something for them to consider.
Understood.
Yeah. Or we've also given out temporary resident cards for evacuees, like the Paradise Fire folks a few years ago.
Okay.
So related in that, I'm curious what, it says on a restricted basis.
Mhm.
Where in this document will what that restricted basis be clarified?
When we talk about the internet-only card option.
Okay, all right, I just want to make sure that it will be hooked to something, otherwise it's kind of vague and seems like, well, it's Monday and I had a tough weekend, so I'm going to restrict you more. We don't want to do that. It has to be
No.
clear.
Everything
Okay.
in here has been done mindfully.
Okay, sounds like a good deal.
And what's the difference on number 3? It says any member of the public per NRS 379.002.
I just moved it from being number 4.
Well, what's the difference between, so you're saying library facilities and services are available to residents, et cetera, persons with valid library cards from any Nevada Library Cooperative, any member of the public per NRS. So that's like the third level. So you've got the residents, you've got Nevada Cooperative, and then you've got any member of the public.
Mm-hmm.
So any member of the public can use the library.
Yeah.
Okay.
They can use the library and its facilities. Can they use the library to its fullest extent? Meaning, can they check out items and things like that? Can they get a library card? Not necessarily.
Is that defined anywhere? I mean, it looks to me like, I mean, it says library facilities and services are available to this list.
They do come to the library facility and use services like
Oh,
our
yeah.
Wi-Fi and
Right.
databases and things like that in the library.
But it doesn't make any clarification on if, because what you're really saying is the first 2 can get library cards, but the third one, they can use the library, they just can't get cards. I mean, the thing
Okay.
about.
This is my suggestion,
Okay.
but it's for you all to decide what you want it to say.
I mean, am I making any sense? That
Absolutely. I wonder if we ought to include, to move the member of the public per NRS, some of them actually end up in number 4, right? So on restricted basis, what the wording would be, it would clarify it. So you're not saying on one hand, everybody gets it, these people get restricted basis, but that one is a nebulous in the middle that would require explanation. I
So you're
think is
saying
what
like order of importance? changing
No.
where it currently?
No,
No.
I just want some clarification on where it says use of the library. Library facilities and services are available.
Uh-huh.
Okay. To me, services would include library cards,
Oh, I see.
but
Well, it could, but that's not the only service that we provide.
oh, yeah, sure. But that means that any member of the public, per the library statutes, could participate in those services.
Which would necessarily always include library card use?
Correct.
Right.
Okay. So is there a separate subheading that we haven't gotten to yet that specifically dictates library card
Yes.
availability?
Mhm.
Okay, which would, probably, I would imagine, shed more light on the distinctions we're discussing here.
Yes.
But I think the implication in the way that it's ordered, because it says any member of the public per NRS 379 is listed like in the text before a commentary about some people have restrictions. It's not included in the commentary that says they could be restricted if they are temporary residents. Something like, although any member of the public per NRS 379.002 can use library facilities and services, those who are temporary residents and visitors may obtain. Do you see how it teases it out? I think it's a little ambiguous. I think Trustee Markle made a good point. If it's not clarified here, it would have to be clarified somewhere else, because I could read this and say, I'm a member of the public and I live in Washoe County, and it doesn't say that I can't have it unless I have a temporary, which is a whole nother subsection, like wouldn't maybe including it together in the same subsection. Or in the subsection.
I just
maybe
got
the wrong
cross-eyed over the
terminology.
subsection.
The subsection's the wrong term. Like in the 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe it combines together with different verbiage. Or are we splitting hairs is the next thought.
I am confused. I will not
Are you?
lie.
Oh,
I
okay.
got confused in the middle of that as to which change we're proposing. It sounds like you're proposing, Trustee Linares, to just combine 3 and 4 with an although and a but.
Yes, I think that is what I'm saying, because otherwise, to me, it implies, and I'm glad that Trustee Markle brought it up, because I read right through it, because I didn't take the time to go and see who those people are. And so in 379.
So if you said any member of the public per NRS, blah, blah, including temporary residents and visitors may obtain library privileges, and instead of saying on a restricted basis, I would rather say something like, it's kind of like I want the privileges or the restricted basis, the privileges, the services to include, where's the section where it tells you how to get a library card or who's available,
I can't remember the exact section, but it is in here.
in
I don't have the sections memorized, I'm sorry. But it is in here and then refers you to an appendix that shows you what the library card application is,
Okay,
which we are changing and will be included and suggested further down the line to include some of this change that I've put here in terms of residency and the persons who conduct business, et cetera.
So could this relate to that as outlined and then later we would insert what the exact title of it is or something? Is that,
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I think that's kind of what I'm trying to get at,
that's what I thought you were trying to say.
that there needs to be a referral
To the place.
to the,
To that section of these policies.
yeah,
Okay.
to sort of illuminate the restrictions.
And who they apply to.
Yeah. I mean, just because someone reading this, I mean, it makes sense to me, except it does not, particularly when, you know, what we've talked about already, because it's not, and I don't know if we want to include it in like an insert under the library facilities and services are available, or as a, you know, a 3A, or whatever.
Okay, let me make this suggestion.
Okay.
Perhaps it should say persons with valid library cards from any Nevada library, member library, or temporary residents and visitors may also obtain library privileges on a limited basis. Have that be number 2. Then number 3 is the existing number 3. So we combine 2 and 4.
I like limited better than restricted.
Okay.
Persons with valid library, okay. Facilities and services are available to persons with valid library cards from any Nevada Library Cooperative member or temporary residents and visitors who may obtain library privileges on a limited basis.
Okay. Yes.
Is that,
Yeah, I can
Would it be
hear-
or would it be and?
Or.
or? I
Okay,
think
do you want
it's
to put and/or?
Well, no, I just
I mean,
want,
It's because you're clarifying, I mean, you're saying temporary residents and visitors. I mean, I'm thinking someone from, you know, who like
just
have-
came through town and.
Well, you know,
or
you
something.
have a 12-year-old grandson that comes to visit you from Hawaii for 3 months during the summer. Can they get a library card? On a limited basis. I mean, they're temporary, you know. That seems to me, I mean, would that be possible, Joy?
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So that's why I would say any member of the public or was it the Nevada Library Cooperative member library or temporary, I mean, would it say and? I think it would be
I think
or.
The reason I suggest or is because we're saying, here's one category of people, Nevada Cooperative Library members, libraries, patrons, or temporary residents and visitors.
Yeah. I
So
agree with that.
we're distinguishing between these different
And then
categories.
who may obtain,
Who may
Right.
obtain.
because otherwise you don't have a modifier somewhere.
And what happened to the public in NRS 379? Are we including all the right people if we,
I think that stays as number 3.
oh, does it?
Yes, so 1 will stay the same.
Well, let's
This
see.
is what I suggest. 2 will combine 2 and 4, and then 3 will remain 3. So we'll have 3 instead of 4 points.
But if we do that, then we're saying, what are we saying about what the member of the public can get?
May I make a suggestion?
Please do.
If we go to the first sentence of this policy, library facilities and services are available to. I was cheating. I was looking ahead a bit. And this section on services of the library, even people that live here don't have unrestricted access to everything. So really the restrictions on service apply to everyone. They're just a little different for everyone. So it might be better to say something like library facilities and services are available subject to the services of the library provision of this policy to, and then you just list those people.
So the provisional nature is there at the beginning of the.
Yeah, so for example, and I don't know, Joy, I don't know how much of this is still accurate, but it says that, like, you know, there's certain rooms you can rent out, but at least one person in the room has to have a valid library card.
That's correct.
So even if you're a citizen of Carson City, if you don't have a valid library card, you can't use that service.
Correct.
But if you're a Carson City citizen, then you can get a library card for free.
Right, but the idea is that there are restrictions on services that are going to apply to everyone listed here.
Right. But if you have an internet-only card as well, which you don't necessarily have to be a resident of Carson City to get an internet-only card. So that language will change a little bit to be more clear when we get to that point, because that is a little bit fuzzy about the rooms. And then we also sometimes, and I'm going to put something in there about this, that we do sometimes make exceptions. So I haven't made my final decision about what we're going to do there, but that will change to some extent.
Adam, could you say the first sentence again so I could hear, because I did not hear the
Sure.
restriction in there.
So
Can you go
portion,
again?
The portion of the policy that I was cheating and looking ahead on is currently titled, I don't know if it'll still be titled this, but Services of the Library.
Okay,
And so you could say library facilities and services are available subject to this policy's provisions on services of the library too. And then you can keep the list more or less the same. In fact, you could probably get rid of the on a restricted basis on number 4 because
okay.
That would be,
Okay, I'm playing with the words here, but you could say library facilities and services as defined in X policy are available too, instead of, you've got too many words there, Adam.
problem is it doesn't, it's not really a definition. It's more of how they work.
Well, I don't know. I think that you can, and I would still use the word limitations instead of restrictions. But whatever you guys want.
I think I'm not getting your point on this one. So can you rephrase it so I can grasp what, I just kind of figured his out. So now I need to listen to yours again. What is it? Tell me the difference
Okay.
here.
Library facilities and services as defined in the library policy entitled blah, blah, are available to, and that directs a reader to a particular policy, refers it to a particular policy, and those things are available to, what we talked about.
But Adam's point is that the section that he's referring to doesn't define them, it describes them. So perhaps instead of saying defined, we say described?
I
That would
would
work. Yeah.
prefer that.
From my perspective, that would work.
Described instead of defined.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
I can deal with that.
Has someone written this down? Because I did not, because I
So
think we just
library-
barely got there. Okay.
Library facilities and services as described in the section that they're described in.
Okay, whatever that is, as described in blank for this moment, because I don't know what that is.
I don't either.
Okay, as described in, yes, are available to. And then that will encompass all the restrictions or limitations that are in that section, which is called what again, Adam?
It's currently called Services of the Library.
As described in services of the library, which would be capitalized, I guess. Apply.
Keep in mind that we are going to be reviewing all of these changes.
Yes, I
and-
hope
yeah.
so, because they got to get the flow. Services of the library, okay. And then we will keep this list. But we can take off on number 4, the on restricted basis, because that will be held within the section called Services of the Library.
I would like to still keep on, I'm happy to use the word limited, but I'd still like to keep that in there because even though it enumerates it later on,
Okay,
I think if I was reading this document, and in fact, when I did read it the first time, I took that phrase to underscore that there are, like, that if you are a temporary resident or a visitor, there's some restrictions you should be aware of. And then, of course, you'd go read what those restrictions were more.
saying
in the
it
other
twice
place.
instead of just saying,
Yeah.
now you have to turn to page 73.
Right, so now we have
Okay.
a pointer that's pointing to that, but I would like to keep limited basis, so there's still a flag that, hey,
Well,
That's part of this.
So for number 3, it's any member of the public per NRS or temporary residents and visitors who may obtain library privileges on a limited basis.
yeah, that sounds good to me.
So we're combining 3 and 4 as stated.
Not 2 and 3. Or excuse me, not 2
I
and 4.
think we are combining, my suggestion was we combine 2 and 4. So we would have 1, 2.
Yeah, not 3. Yeah,
3.
3 stays.
Right.
Yeah.
It still countermands it. Okay.
I'm not
I
sure.
think I'm just missing that. I think,
Well, I still think NRS says any member of the state of Nevada.
that's why I mean it countermands it, because it's saying this group and this group, but then you have another thing that says everybody. So
Well, you would have to go look at the NRS to know.
Well,
the
I think what
definition,
we're
right?
getting hung up on maybe is the difference between facilities and services versus a library card.
yeah,
Services
actually, that's not
don't
what I'm getting
necessarily
concerned with,
mean.
but go ahead. Mhm.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear
No,
what you
that's
were
okay,
saying.
because I was talking over you. I was just saying, I don't feel like that's what my concern is. It's the clarification of the who, not the what.
Okay,
Because the what comes later in services of the library, and this is about the who. And so if NRS 379 says who is everybody, it's almost a moot point. As soon as you put it in, it's almost like putting a drape over all of them.
Okay, NRS 379.002
Please.
says, goal of public libraries and information centers. It is the goal of the state's publicly supported libraries and information centers to provide the resources and trained staff to meet the informational needs of all citizens. It's a little nebulous.
Is that describing the public?
That describes the information, all citizens.
It does say all citizens there, doesn't it? Okay, I'm recognizing time. I'm recognizing that we've been in this quagmire for about 20 minutes. And again, I want to do it right, but I'm wondering if we could just take this any member of the public and just put it as number 1. So the broadest umbrella is there, and then it gets more specific. So then what is currently number 1 becomes number 2. And then I guess we still combine 2 and 4, and then that, yeah, like, so is it that we just need that to be the top umbrella?
Well, it is all-inclusive if it says all citizens. But then that's also something interesting, to say all citizens. As in, like,
Yeah,
is it, here's the thing.
not
Is it-
everybody who walks in
you
the
know.
door is necessarily a citizen.
Well, not only that, but is it a citizen of the world? Is it
Yeah,
a citizen of the state?
well, I know, it's in the.
Is it a
it's in the
citizen
Nevada
of the
thing.
county?
Good
Is it a
point.
citizen of the city?
Do we need to take out?
Maybe we should just take out the
Number
reference
3.
to 379.002.
It seems like that's the hang up here.
You could. It's a stated goal. It's not a mandate.
Right. If we took it out, that would bring us some closure on this, I think.
Would it?
Wouldn't it?
I'm being sarcastic.
Oh, okay.
I would support that.
Okay.
It seems like that was the beginning of this quagmire. So I propose that we keep that first addendum language that you described, Joy, after what you wrote down after what Adam.
Okay.
Advised.
As described in section.
Yes, I still think that flag is a good idea. And then I propose that we just cut number 3 and keep everything else as currently written, except instead of saying restricted basis, we use the word limited.
Okay. And also I'll change the font so it matches.
Oh, yes.
Okay, thank you. I did notice that.
I made a note to myself before we even came here tonight. Okay. Number 3, scratched.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for looking it up for us.
But number 3 could be temporary residents and visitors may obtain library privileges on a limited basis.
Right,
I
because-
thought that was what we were,
Yeah,
1,
we're gonna
2, and 3.
renumber them. We're
So
just dropping the current number
Right,
3.
so we're going to have 3.
Yeah.
So we're going to have current 1 and 2, and then 4 will become 3.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so we need a motion. I believe this is an action item.
Yeah,
So-
we're at the end now, aren't we? Yes.
Yes, and so is there a motion to approve the sections that we are working on tonight? I don't know, what would we call these policy sections?
If you go to page 11, Trustee Linares, the
Thank
proposed
you,
motion is
please.
there.
Save me. I do appreciate that.
I move to approve the proposed amendments to the policy as presented, discussed, and noted as a result of those discussions.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And thank you. I appreciate that. Too many papers. Okay,
Thank you.
all right. Okay. We are to section 5B of our agenda tonight for possible action. This is discussion and possible action to, and this is my paraphrase, to extend the contract with the State of Nevada Office of Economic Development to continue career training and community support for a year, and also to authorize the library director to sign the amendment. There were late materials. Did everyone see the late materials?
They are included in the packet as well.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, so let's open it up for discussion. Thoughts on this?
I'd like to clarify that I understand this correctly. Is there currently a staff member affiliated with this grant as it describes this, training that the trainer's position? Like, is this a position that's already held?
So
library.
the answer to that is yes and yes. So there's actually 2 positions that are related to this. One is more robust than the other because we lost our permanent staff member that was
Okay.
handling this piece of work, and we just hired that person after a rewrite.
Uh-huh.
So Tammy Westergaard is the SWDP, which is the Senior Workforce Development Professional, the librarian in residence.
Yes, that was my follow-up
Yeah.
question. Okay. And this additional funding, which would go into our, the grant funding account, is a continuation of the work that has already begun, and it would continue funding that person's work
Correct.
at our facility. Okay.
Right, I had the same question. So if we look at it in a broader way, if we vote to continue this, what impact will it have on the current staff as far as workload or work adjustments to facilitate it? Anything different than is already happening now?
No, because we have a position whose duties incorporate all of this.
Okay,
That's a permanent position that we just filled.
okay,
And then we have the temporary employee that's associated with the grant, Tammy Westergaard, who is the SWDP I just mentioned. So no, that the existing permanent staff member's workload and job description incorporates this, taking up this work and being involved in this work.
okay. Do you anticipate any negative outcomes to continuing the grant in any aspect of affecting the library?
No,
Okay.
I think it's all, I think it's a win-win.
Okay.
It's been going for a couple of years, so
Yes, right.
it's,
And so who's responsible for those quarterly reports? Is that Ms. Westergaard?
Yes,
Okay,
in concert with me.
okay,
We discuss it, but most of the responsibility for the quarterly reports is based on her gathering of data.
okay. And so the benefits to the extension then, if you were to summarize them, I think it's already written in the summary, but could you verbally just tell us again? So we want to extend this contract because,
Because we want to continue this work.
okay? Because we already have people in the pipeline who are being, benefiting from it?
Correct. And even if there weren't, it would be a beneficial endeavor because we have narrowed it down more to what work we can do at the library that is not duplicating the services of our community partners.
Okay,
And as I stated 2 years ago when we first started this, all hands to the pump, I think, when it comes to workforce development in Nevada. It's very much needed. I think that's a catchphrase that's being used across the country, but I don't see any sort of negative from us taking money from a state agency to continue this work at a local level.
great.
Do we ever have an opportunity to see any of the reports?
Yeah. Or you would like an opportunity to see the reports?
Yes,
Sure.
yeah. I mean, I don't know that we need to see it every quarter, but I think that, this is kind of it feels to me like an invisible thing that goes on, which is fine. It's work being done, but I'd kind of like to know what kind of results are happening.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
I appreciate that. Yeah,
So you would
that
like to
be
see them,
interesting.
you don't want to see them quarterly? Or yes? I mean, she's going to be
I think we'd
submitting
say
them.
yes. Why don't we see them?
So
Okay. I
do you
mean, if
want
we
to
can
see them at the same time that, or, generally around the same time that they're being presented to GoEd?
Yes,
Okay,
yes. That would be great.
all right.
A question that I think was answered or implied, because I wasn't here 2 years ago when this came, and this is just probably a very basic question, but when the grant ends, there's material, I mean, obviously the knowledge stays, but there's access to testing and there's the VR and all that. Does that stay with the library? Access
Yes.
to all that? Okay. So training more staff, as you mentioned in the information, is wonderful so that they will continue to be able to have that grow. All right.
Right. But honestly, I think the most important thing that we'll be retaining is the knowledge and the partnerships that we will continue to grow as a result of this work.
And I'm curious, if I were a patron, which I am, of the library, and I went to the library and I did not have a job, how would I know this was here, or is it really targeted toward person coming in off the street, or is it more targeted toward people in the programs mentioned in our, in the recap?
Both.
Both. So how would I know? I come to the desk and I say, how would I know? Let me just add.
Well, you would probably need to make contact with someone at the library, but we would also market it, which we have in the past, but we didn't have a position available at the library that would be present for someone if they did just come in at any time. So, we would just market it with signage, with social media, with outreach, that kind of thing.
And what phase of the development would that marketing occur? Like, how much more has to happen in the process before you would do that marketing?
Well, I want to make sure that our new staff member is up to speed, and she's been with us a month. So I'd like to give her a little bit more time getting her feet under her in terms of all of the duties that she has to do with that job.
Okay. So I would like to be sure that that does happen eventually. I'm sure that it would, because why would we have these great resources, right, and not make it known to our patrons? It's just that I wouldn't have known if I didn't sit on this board. I wouldn't know about any of this, and I go to the library, but there's a lot I don't know about at the library too. When you walk in, there's so much going on. It's great stuff. Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Anybody else have thoughts? No? Okay, so do we need two motions because there were two parts to this, or is it one motion? Because it's the, yes, we want to renew, and then it's Joy is going to be able to sign, or is that all one thing?
If you look at page 16, it'll show you the proposed motion.
Okay, I'll look at you with all the page numbers. I just
Okay,
love this.
I move to approve the amendment as presented and authorize the library director to sign the amendment.
Very good. Is there a second for that?
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Joy.
Thank you, guys.
I'm still getting my sea legs up there.
No, it's,
All the paper for the shredder.
I know.
No. I have a giant binder. Come on, guys. You gotta have your binders. Okay, I know it's very old school, but it's okay. All right, so we are to the non-action items, the director's reports. And we have the budgets, copies of budgets. Does anyone have anything going with that? Any comments, questions? Anything, Joy, that we should call our attention to in the budgets? Anything?
It's early days. So I think we are very much on target. The software maintenance cost, that's always a question, but that is because we pay for the maintenance of our software that maintains the self-checkouts and talks to our registers and our printers, and so we pay that every year in July, and it's a sizable amount. So we see a big percentage of that spent early on. And not to worry, because that's one of the biggest expenses in that line item.
It did catch my eye, I will admit. So did the fleet management and the office supplies, but
Office supplies are usually offset by operating supplies. They're a bit interchangeable, honestly.
yeah.
But typically, we can, to make it cleaner, if we get too close to the end with office supplies, I'll move money from operating supplies just so that number doesn't look too glaring, but we aren't over overall budget.
Okay. All right.
How about the membership publications at 50%? Is there a big thing we buy in July?
No, that was that we, myself and that's paying for our memberships, our individual
Oh,
memberships in
at-
different organizations. And with
Gotcha.
we just joined the association, 3 of us just joined the Association for Rural and Small Libraries. So that costs,
Yeah.
which is, we've not spent a lot of that money from year to year. So here we go.
Cool. Yeah.
All right. When we look at the gift fund, it has some exciting percentages, but I do see that they're outlined. You have a nice report about the gift fund and how it got spent.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so that was appreciated. Yeah.
Well, how it's going to be spent. We haven't received the check yet.
Okay. Digital collections, 586%.
Right.
That's a pretty exciting number.
Not to worry.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else about the budgets, or shall we move on to the director's report? All right, Joy. Walk
Okay.
us through it. Yeah, it's exciting.
All right. So are you ready?
I'm sitting.
We're fully staffed.
It's a good thing we're sitting. That is a very
Right?
exciting statement.
Yeah. Hold on to your hats, ladies. So we filled our final library assistant position, and her name is Netta Mandanian, and she began yesterday or Tuesday. She comes to us. I can't remember exactly where she comes to us, but she does have a master's in library science. And then Sarah Hassel joined us as our new library resources and systems manager on July 12th. And Sarah is who's going to be working closely with Tammy on the grant or interlocal agreement funding. So Does anybody have any questions about any of this stuff? Trustee Linares, you asked for pictures.
I ask and I receive. You're so kind. Well, it does
I
bring
used
it
to do a
life.
lot more pictures, so.
Super cute. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Okay.
Any big hits, especially like, oh, wow, that was bigger than we expected, or like, well, maybe.
Actually, it's been an incredible turnout for all of these programs, but I would
Wonderful.
say the one that has been the most popular is, I'm perhaps not the most popular in terms of attendance, but the most popular in terms of feedback and raves about it is the wand, building the wand.
Oh, okay.
We've had several for each age group, and they've all been very popular and well received. So
That interesting.
Mhm.
A little magic. Okay. Fun. And how's the reading program going? Well.
These numbers have improved or gotten higher. As of 1 o'clock this afternoon, we have 1,073 signups. We have 371 completions, which is about 30 a day. That's our highest number ever. Minutes read was, you see that number there. It's now 1,807,026 minutes read.
Wow.
So if you've seen our socials, we're really trying to get everybody to, come on, let's get to 2 mil. And we might, honestly, because it's not uncommon for the hard push to come in these last 2 or 3 days. So we'll see. But
Great.
very impressive turnout and absolutely staggering improvement in minutes read. So, and it's not like, I mean, we set it at 800,000 because we didn't want to be disappointed if we didn't make 1.2 again. So the staff is just doing an incredible job. I cannot rave about them enough. It brings a tear to my eye. I don't right now, but we will once it's completely wrapped up. I'll have final numbers on age group and completion, what age group completed the most, et cetera. Yeah.
Good. That'll be interesting because that'll help us know who's actually using
Yep.
the,
And where we
the
need to
facility and
and-
services. No.
No, it's always good to know because we always
Yes.
want to know really is the tweens and teens, are we hitting that market?
Mhm.
And last year we did.
Mhm. Good. Wonderful.
And then there's all my director outreach
I appreciate you putting that in.
and my picture of us at the Odyssey Trivia.
With the fabulous outfits, I must say.
Great.
Well,
Well, and
busy
you-
in July.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
You were busy in July.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. But probably not as busy. Well, we are all busy. I mean, July's
Yes.
our hot month for the summer reading challenge. That's where we're really full tilt. And then the last but not least is Trustee Linares actually second to last, is the approval of the $75,000 funding request from the Friends and how that will be dispersed out.
Thank you, friends. Thank you.
Yes, thank you,
Trustee
Friends.
Markle, I know that you wear a couple of hats.
Oh, yeah, whenever. For the lease, but,
Yeah.
and then in the digital collection because we spent against it. But I mean, we haven't necessarily spent against it. It's not as if we don't have the money in the account. So, yeah.
Well, I always need digital collections. I had to back up just a little bit. You did such great outreach, but I'm kind of curious, any takeaways, any, like the Seroptimus, what was the sense of it? Or anything at your very official meetings that would be beneficial just to kind of, or the Friends meeting, like, can you give us a flavor of how'd it go?
Well, the
What are
Friends
people
meeting went
thinking
well.
about us? What's that?
The Friends meeting went well. They gave us $75,000.
Well, that's really good. No kidding.
The Seroptimus Luncheon, actually, that's a really great organization, and we get an opportunity. Each member gets an opportunity every time to speak of what's going on related to their work or in their life if they're no longer working. to talk about, I have a rah-rah of some kind. And so I always talk about the library. And in this instance, it was, had an opportunity. They were planning a district-wide event. They were having a hard time finding a space. They didn't know about the Digitorium or the patent room now. So they came and looked at it, decided that it wasn't necessarily fit for what they were thinking, but now it's on everyone's radar that we have that room. And so that's never a bad thing. And so that was something fruitful that came from the Sir Optimus Luncheon. And about the quarterly directors meeting, that was beneficial because we were able to get some clarity on some of the LSDA funding that's coming down the pike.
Good.
And then the ALA special council session, that was ALA stuff, Nevada scholarship. And
Okay.
yeah, and I'm there as the Nevada representative.
Okay.
So I vote on
Wonderful.
behalf of Nevada
Great.
on resolutions and et cetera. That's what this was a change in a policy.
Okay. I
And then-
appreciate the feedback. I mean, we made such a fuss about having you go do all this stuff that I like to hear how it went. So, thank you. Yeah.
And then one last thing, but very important, is the final strategic planning workshop is going to take place next week or week after next on August 26th from 9 till 4 in the patent room. And this workshop will talk about all of the work we did from the last session and focus on starting to narrow in on the final project final product that Dr. Simon will then come and present y'all.
All right.
It's for internal stakeholders and y'all as well.
Great.
I was really glad that I got to join you at that first one. in
Me too.
July. It was illuminating.
I think we actually had a really good, some very fruitful conversation. And the act of spending a lot of time with the staff on this is really, I believe, what has changed and shifted our culture to one of such engagement on behalf of the staff. Because when I started 5 years ago, we didn't have a lot of that, and we've turned that around, I think. And I think that has, if nothing else, been a byproduct of this process has been that incredible engagement that we're seeing, for example, with the summer reading challenge work that's being done.
Enthusiasm is contagious.
Yeah, it is.
It is. Wonderful. Great. All right. Fabulous. I think the next thing we have is trustees' reports, announcements, and requests for information. Anything from anybody? No? Well, through the ALA, I think I mentioned before, there is a thing that trustees can join, and they have informational, you can go to roundtables and things like that. And I was only able to go to a small part, but I'm curious, Adam, they share information about these are the things that were discussed, and here's some slide decks. Is that something that I can share with the trustees from the ALA? It wouldn't be something that I made, but is that something that I could send to them as an informational thing? Okay, then I will send those out. Okay, good. I think because they allow that, the ALA does, because I pay a lot of money to join those things. It's ridiculous. Anyhow, okay. So, thank you. All right. All right, so now we are at the request. I have too many papers. Hang on, I gotta get my verbiage for public comment. And once again, this is an opportunity for the public to, let me just make sure I got the right words. It's the wrong page. Be patient with me. The public is invited to provide comment on any topic that relates to a matter that we have control over, supervision or advisory power. We do not have anyone here in the audience, so I will presume that we do not have any public comment. So I adjourn the meeting at 6:29. All right.